If you're like us, you love growing flowers from seed. But we know that not everyone has the time, the patience, or the space to do that. The good news is that you don't have to do it. You can also go to your local gardening center, like we did today, and go
Yeah.
ahead and buy the plants that are going to give you spring color. And that's what we're doing today.
That's true. So we are out here in the beautiful sun, and we just found a few different ones we want to just talk a little bit about. So the first one is one of our favorites, and also yours, Alan, is Saxifraga. Is
Love it.
really pretty, and you can get it in different kind of colors. So kind of if you are planning on doing a white flower bed, you can think a little bit about that when you look into the flowers, because a lot of these perennials, some of them are like, if you look, if there wouldn't be a picture, that's also like a kind of a guideline, because some of them you would think, okay, perennial, it's kind of dormant, but the plant is in there, even though it says, it looks like are they going to sell like just a dead pot? But trust me, it's just asleep. But back to the Saxifraga, it's really nice. It's kind of low, so it great if you have like we at home we have like a little stone path, so it's great in there. It likes really like poor soil, loves the full sun, and you can easily this one, if you like don't want to spend a lot of money on way too many, you can also go ahead and when you take it out, divide it even into 4 and then place it out, because some of these ones are a big clump, and over time, even by after 1 season, it will kind of grow more on the sides, and then you can pluck them apart, like even with a little shovel. They are really hardy perennials. They don't mind, like if you like, for example, if I take this out of the pot, you can also see it has really a great rooting system here. So you could just take your shovel and divide it into 4, and make sure when you take these out in your garden, like loosen the roots around here before you plant it in. And also, if you have a very dry spring, make sure you water it in the beginning, so those new perennials get the best start. And then also that gives you great success, because imagine it's been sitting in this pot, so loosen those roots so it can really search down for water in the beginning. But this one is a really great one and just loves the sun, so that's a great one. Okay, so we went over to the sun, but here another great one, also low, like ground cover, is the Krypende Lebeløs. You can get it in, I love the blue ones, but you can also get whites and pinks. And what you can see here, it has a great color, and all these actually they propagate also, like they grow roots on these long stems here. So over time, very quickly, just over 1 season, you will have a bunch of these ones. Also, we have it close to the border in full. It loves the full sun. And not only the flower is actually pretty, I like this different kind of burgundy color. We also have them almost in, you can get them in with black foliage. Also, when we arrange I keep in mind that dark foliage really gives a different contrast to the green foliage of a lot of the perennials. So this one is also really great. You get quickly a lot of ground covered with these ones. So you don't need a lot of plants to get these out. And again, you can divide it, and because it's also healthy for the perennial, sometimes you just get it divided right away. And again, make sure you loosen the roots on this one, because it's grown a lot. So here we have one that's a bit bigger, but it's Steenbrak, and you can also get them again in different colors. Here's like a really nice pink one. You can also get it in white actually. And what I love about this one is green most of the year. Then in autumn it turns like almost red. The foliage also like just it's getting ready for autumn. So you have the changing colors of the foliage as well, and also some of them call them here in Denmark, we call them like elephant ear, because they look like elephant ears almost. You can, once it's established, it gets really big. So that one is really nice as well. You can easily just break a clump off here in the bottom. It's easily again divided, so you can have them in more, so you don't need so many pots to get that wow effect. And these ones, the different varieties, you can get some that's really low, you can have along the border. Some of them are even bigger, and then you can have that more in the back of the garden. So here's one that also Alan really likes, is the Leutnantshjerte Dicentra. And look at those hearts.
Yeah, we have it in this color and in white.
Yes, that's true. You can actually get them in a different shade as well. So it's like a light and a more darkish pink. But you can see it's just starting to come up. Just look at it, it's so cute.
We'll have to show that in the garden too. These guys are coming up.
And really quickly over time, just I would say even after one season, you can start to take the, again, perennials. A lot of people are so afraid about just taking your shovel. I take my spade and just divide it in half, just in the middle, and just get some of that root up. And they actually thrive. A lot of perennials, they grow stronger and healthier when you divide it. So over time, you can quickly get a big area of this one. This one, you notice, once it's finished flowering, a lot of the perennials leave the foliage, but this one, you should have some other perennials around the area, because this one, when it dies, it really dies. It doesn't look pretty, the foliage, and you would kind of take it away, and then you need to have something else that could then take over later on in the season. Yeah. But it's really, and also again, what's great about these early perennials is that you have a bunch for the early insects. It's really important for the bumblebees, for example, which we didn't have here, but the Helleborus is really great. It flowers really early and gives a lot of, for the gas station for the bees, that they can really tank up before they go on to the next flower. So Helleborus is also really great.
So the bees can tank up. Yeah, that means get some gas.
That's what we say in Denmark, they tank up. Another one also, really great one. Not everybody loves yellow, but I love yellow because it's a great combination to other, for example, purple perennials to put aside. But the Daylily here is really nice, and it also gets these, you can see on the side here, sword looking. The foliage is really nice as well. You can get it in whites, in reds, and so many different colors, so you can get whatever color you like, and it's really nice to have in contact with some of the other foliage in these ones. And some of these perennials that I mentioned also, like for example this one, if you also want to experiment, which I think is really funny, you could also take seeds of these ones when they finish flowering. Most of the perennials, they will make like a seed pod and let it dry, be all brown. Some of them, this one for example, looks like almost like a little chickpea, but really black, and then you can sow them. It's a longer process. You can also, the safest or the quickest one, for if you're very impatient, you could divide. Some of them you can also do cuttings, but I think it's really fun because seeds, when you take seeds from just one flower, you get quickly like 200 new seeds, and they will eventually then renew baby perennials, which I think is really great. And then you never know about the colors because they cross-pollinate, and then you get a different color. But dividing and also cuttings will be a true copy of the mother plant of the perennials compared to if you do seeds.
It is a very windy day now. We have been driven inside by the wind.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you the last one. It's called Copielle. You can get it also in whites and also in red, and I really like this one because it's one of the early perennials. And what I also love, not only again the flower, but I love different kind of foliage and the texture. And this one, just notice, see here, oh, it just looks so cute. The flower bud is coming, but it's almost like hairy, almost like, yeah, very, very soft. And these ones you can also take seeds off. Some of the, again, if you do the seeds, I'm a spokesman for seeds because I just love taking seeds and all those baby perennials. But that's another topic.
That's another 1,000 videos.
I know, sorry. But back to this one, some of them, because even some of the other perennials, some of them are, they need cold stratification, some of them need changing temperature, so not all of them are easy to grow from seeds, but that's also fun. Like, you try hard. Some need 2 months to have changing over winter. You sow them in January, but anyway, this one can be a little tricky to take seeds off, but it's really pretty. You can have them, a lot of these ones you can also have in pots if you don't have a big garden or a terrace. Just always remember, when you have perennials in pots and also other flowers in that case, make sure if you have them in pots that drainage holes, and also water when it's very dry in early spring or summer. Otherwise they won't really thrive. And especially these ones that, come out from the pot, they imagine if they could speak, they were like, whoa, I'm so shocked I got out of this little safety spot. But it will really quickly start. You can signs of that is thriving is when it quickly starts to get new growth, foliage is coming and the flowers will come. That is indicated that the plant is doing really well. But remember again, like I said, loosen the roots underneath so they really start, otherwise the roots will just keep going. And another thing, once you have the first season, water well if it's very dry, but then think about not water all the time. After one season, this plant is very clever. The roots will go down where the water is. So if you imagine every day, give them a little bit of water, the roots will be on the shallow, just on the surface, instead of searching down where the water is. Because then after one season, and it gets really dry, it will just keep going down and you'll have much stronger and healthier plants instead of overwatering, thinking, oh, it's actually good for the plants.
Yeah,
but
and that
it's the
goes for most
opposite.
perennials. It's not only this one.
Yeah. So, and this one just needs some time, just the first season, I would say, keep an eye on watering, make sure it doesn't dry out. But these ones, yeah, and then there was some actually, just quickly want to say there was some that I couldn't find here. For example, Jacobsee is really nice, Brunnera. There's also one early, Aquilegia is also some that you can have early on to give that pop of color out in the garden.
Okay, we have a lot here, but we need to now put it all back because, like we said, we grow everything from seed and cuttings, so we don't have to come to the planting center
No,
and
right.
buy a bunch of.
And all these I actually have in the garden, so.
But these are really great plants, and the whole point was that you can go to your local garden center, you can find things, and you can already get it in now for that spring color. So,
and also I would say, like, instead of doing annual sale, think about perennials, because they will keep coming back every year and that will save you a lot of money just having those plants, and they are so hardy and it's so much better. Even if they get dormant, they look a little bit sad, it's much worth having perennials.
exactly. So even if you did go and get a little plant haul and make that first investment with perennials, you're just going to not have to spend any money next year.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so let's get started on this. By the time we put all these back, you guys could have already gone out, went shopping, and started a beautiful spring garden.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. Moin.